Okay, and welcome to Utica, New York, home of the New Jersey Devils AHL team, Utica Devils. And this is a beautiful facility in downtown Utica. It's a 3-rink setup and just an amazing place for the boys to get to play hockey. And welcome to Mid-Fairfield 2010 broadcasts of the game versus the Chicago Mission 2010. And we apologize for the lateness in setting up here, but the game before us had just a ton of penalties. And you're gonna notice kind of the odd camera angle. And the reason why we do that is so you can get all of the action, because we have the camera flat. There's posts all along the rink preventing you from seeing into the corners. So it's a little off-angled shot, but nonetheless, you should get most of the action. So today we have Nick Malafis running the camera and also setting up. And I will be your on commentary, John Faich. My son is the goalie that's not playing tonight. So you'll see a relatively calm version of me. Chris will get the start tomorrow against Penn's Elite. So it's a 3-game set. But tonight, Joe Violante will start between the pipes. And as always, parents, if we could just have a comment or two on the parent chat, just to let us know that everything sounds good. I would appreciate that. And just a quick game note, I believe everyone is back today. So coaches and players, I think we should be at full complement. Well, okay, and with the exception of DeRoberts, who's still out with an injury. But actually, there's good news on the DeRoberts front. I did see him skating last week in a non-contact jersey, but still skating, so that's good to see him. He's yet to suit up for Mid-Fairfield this year. But other than that, everyone is back. Coaches and players. I say it somewhat sarcastically in the fact that we had more than a few sitting out for some suspensions. So we're getting back everybody today. And thank you, parents, for letting me know I'm just not talking to myself over on the side of the rink. So when you're watching, Joe is warming up with Chris next to him. And on the other side, which you can't see, is Mission in some of my favorite uniforms. Mission with the black and the neon green highlights, which are just about my favorite uniforms. And it's just wild looking. So you'll see a lot of players that we're familiar with. I will hopefully be able to call them out, because over the last 7 years, a lot of the Mission kids have played against Chris, so pretty familiar with a bunch of them. And they are, it's just, the thing about Mission that makes them such a good team, they're not star-driven. They are, from top to bottom, they're just a solid team that moves the puck well. They're very well disciplined, very well coached. They pass the puck extraordinarily well. At times, you'll see a clinic with this team and their passing ability. And they've got some good goaltending. So that leads them to be one of the more successful teams over the last 7 or 8 years. So you should see a good game from them. And usually Mid-Fairfield gets their A game going against Mission. So hopefully a good matchup tonight. And as we mentioned in the parent chat, if any parents would like a video of their child, like either a highlight video or recruiting video, Chris, I know, has started to make some up, and he made one the other day. It came out fantastic, about a 3-minute video for a family, and Chris is extraordinarily adept at cutting up video and editing, and so if you want to do that, you should reach out to Chris. He usually works at a pretty reasonable fee, so, and then you can have that if you want to send it along to anybody. I'm sorry about the movement in the camera. We're just trying to get things adjusted. Mr. Scranton over bailing us out. So another interesting thing about this rink, you'll hear many different kinds of whistles to end the period. They had to do that because there's a rink right next to us, and typically what would happen is the other rink would blow the whistle to end the period, and the kids over here would stop playing. So it's important to continue to play until you see the refs indicate that play is stopped. It's the only downside about this place. Other than that, this place is amazing. I would sign up every weekend to play here practically. So I see a bunch of the players racing over to clean up all the pucks. Joe's in between the pipes. Okay, and it looks like for Mission, their starting goalie is Woodward, and I don't see him heading to the pipes. So when I wish I had a list of the players. I might, in between the periods, I might run over and see if I can grab one. But I do know a lot of the players here. Okay, so your starting lineup: Malefus, Ruff, and Beck up front, with Kakaro and Zoo back on D. And win by Mission. Dumped right into the mid-Fairfield zone onto Violante and shot. He's able to absorb it into his stomach. So 16:54, just the start of the first period. Coach will reload with the same group. Malefus at center. Win again by Mission. They control the puck along the boards. Put it in the middle. Nice play by Ruff to deny. Tries to thread the needle to Beck. Just a little too strong. And the puck dances behind the Mission goalkeeper. Mission player falls down. Beck tries to get the puck. The goalkeeper is able to sweep it away. Good forecheck by Beck. Very active first shift out of Beck and Ruff. You can see mid-Fairfield a little more motivated today. They got their lunch handed to them last week. Long pass over to Beck, unable to handle it cleanly, and Ralph from Mission taps it through. Mission gains the zone as Drone stood up by O'Neill and into the neutral zone. Forecheck by Ludke. D-to-D pass. O'Hara picks it up from Mission, and it's worked out of the zone. And that's going to be an icing. So 15:40 left in the first period. Coach will bring out the next line here. He's got Scranton up front with Correa and Lutke, O'Neill and Shunk on the blue line, Scranton at center. Win by Scranton over to Lutke's shot, and it's over the shoulder of the Mission goalkeeper, kept in by mid-Fairfield. Puck along the boards. Shunk using that long stick to keep the puck in. Still a battle along the boards. Lutke up with it, but loses the handle. And it skips over Shunk's skate all the way to Violante, who's going to stop the puck with a mitt. And we'll stop play here at 15:09 left. Okay. All right, and so next group out, we got Johnston out there with Pan and Lopiano. Christian's been playing defense most of the year, but shifting up to forward for this game. Christian just a lightning quick skater, good hands, so we'll see what he can do at forward. And then you've got Pearl and Boudry on defense. And the puck thrown out, and here comes Mission across center ice. Toe drag, loses the puck to Boudry. Mission back up with it though. Boudry with a big hit. Out in front of Violante, kick save by Violante. Blocked by Johnston, gets the puck and throws it to the opposite corner. Nice play by Pan to flip it out to Boudry, and he's got Johnston with him, shot, but it's blocked. And here comes Mission off the block, but Figurino races to meet the Mission player. Good poke check by Figurino, who flips it over to Johnston, now into the opposite corner. Johnston tries to connect to LeConte, but unable to do so. Caccaro off the glass, turns it over, but back to Caccaro. Lee dumps it in from Mission into the corner. Zuga's chase, wraps it around the boards to Ware. Shot on Violante, doesn't quite get there. Zoo's still battling, but Mission relentless. Out to Miller along the blue line, winds up way far away from the net. Sorry about that, folks. Zoo still giving chase. It's finally tapped out. LeConte gets it into the neutral zone. And Lee dumps in from Mission behind Violante. Violante with a stick, gets it high up off the glass, over to Ware. Ware tries to slide it out to a teammate, a little too strong, and Rolfe now is stood up by Caccaro. Zoo able to recover the errant pass over to Ware. Ware across center ice. And here comes Mission with the errant pass. Across the mid-Fairfield blue line, shot and gloved by Violante. So 12:46 in the first period. We're still tied at 0. Both teams with a few shots, nothing super dangerous that the goalies couldn't handle. So Drone against Malefus at center, and it's win by Mission. Out to their defenseman, shot along the pad, Violante. It was a good shot by Mission there. I think Violante saw that till the last second. It comes up with it. Beck now trying to control the puck, but he's got Mission players all over him. Mission picks up the puck, shot, saved by Violante, another save by Violante. Lost it for a minute there, but again, Joe picking it up at the last second to make the key save. Rolfe now picks it up from Mission, tries to center it. Malefus now behind Violante, kicks the puck over to Beck. Oh, dangerous pass in the middle. Lucas Ruff. Boy, Lucas, that is a skilled play. He sat on the puck. In fact, he moved it under his rear end without the ref seeing it. Nice play by Ruff there. Another block by Shunk. and thrown out onto the Mission goalkeeper, and that's going to be an icing. So again, that's the kind of thing Lucas Ruff never gets credit for, and boy, but he sold it. The puck was right in the slot, and Lucas Ruff was able to get his pants onto the puck so people couldn't see it, give his team time to come over and get that puck out of the dangerous area. And he didn't draw a penalty for doing that. So Lukey up with the puck, tries getting it to Scranton, over to Hurl. Hurl, tipped shot by Correa. Correa now tries to slide it over to Scranton. Scranton over to Lukey. Scranton tied up, and here comes Henrich from Mission with the puck behind Violante, using that speed. Puck thrown into the opposite corner. Here comes Mission out in front, but unable to connect. Thrown back onto Violante, kick to the side. Hurl now enters the fray. Mid Fairfield just unable to control the puck for any length of time here. Thrown in, high up into the air. Boudry gets frustrated, throws it out. And Mid Fairfield, the beneficiary there. Puck hit, I believe it hit off the ref and slowed down just enough, so no icing. But Mission gains the zone right away, and Violante is able to stop it with a glove. So 9:50 left in the first period, still tied at 0. So Johnston at center. Win again by Mission. Defenseman shoots it, puck gets tipped up in the air. It's on the netting behind Violante. Out in front, Violante with a save, another save by Violante. Shot off the side of the net. Oh, Mission had an open net there on Violante. The winger just couldn't get anything on it. Miller now up with it, dumps it back in from Mission. Johnston finally able to get it to Lopiano, cross center ice. A good poke check by Mission, and they dump it out. Over to Zoo, and Zoo dumps back in. Mission goalkeeper able to field it. Nice play there behind his own cage. Acker across ice to his winger teammate, but turns it over to Johnston. And they're going to call an offside here. So 8:56 left in the first period. Malefus back out there with Beck and Ruff. Got O'Neill and Shunk out on D. Win by Mid Fairfield. Shunk surveys, gets it over to Ruff, but it's tipped a little too much, but turned over. Nice play by Mission. They saw Malefus streaking down there. And here comes Acker. He gets around O'Neill. Shot, but misfires. Mission with that speed on those wingers. Malefus just trying to get around, turns over the puck, but Ruff there, who tips the puck into the Mission goalkeeper's mitt. 8:25 left. So coach will run with the same group here, no change. Mission with the win. Mission's been very good on face-offs so far in the first period. I think winning all but about 1 or 2. Shunk now controls the puck, gets it to Ruff. Ruff tries to hit Beck in stride, a little too much on the stick there. Oh, and here comes Mission now. Beautiful passing shot and gloved. Boy, fortunate for mid-Fairfield there. Mission rushed the shot. They had some skating room, but decided to take a shot from just about the face-off circle. Goalies will take that all day long. So Scranton back at center. Scranton chips it out, goes along the boards. They're going to call an icing here. 7:45 left. So you've got Scranton out there with Ludke and Carre. Hurl and Boudry are manning the blue line. So win by Scranton. Boudry now trying to kick the puck up to Carre, and does. Hurl unable to control it though, and it goes back deep into the mid-Fairfield zone. Puck just aimlessly thrown out into the neutral zone. Scranton picks it up, fires it over to Carre. Carre over to Ludke, a little too strong. Carre now and Ludke in the corner. Carre now digging at it along with Ludke. Tries to get it out to Hurl, does. Hurl over to Boudry. Boudry able to tip it in to Ludke, back to Boudry. Boudry winds up, blocked. Ludke up with a block. Tries sliding it over to Hurl, unable to do so. Mid-Fairfield loses the zone. Scranton now back up with it, but he's got 4 Mission players on him. Puck goes off into the corner. Hurl with a long stick there, gets the pass, and Ludke dumps it in. Figurino now gives chase. Miller from Mission behind his own net. Cross ice, dangerous pass in front of his goalkeeper. Drone gains the zone, shot, and it tips off of the stick up into the netting. 6:02 left. So Figurino with a win by Mission. Ware gives chase, dumps it behind Violante. Picaro over to LeConte, but Mission keeps the puck in. Picaro fields it. It's hounded by a Mission player, but gets it over to Figurino. Figurino loses the handle in the neutral zone, and here comes Mission. Oh, the player just fell down. Fortunate for mid-Fairfield there. And that's, the ref missed that one. That was actually off of the Mission stick, but I don't think he could see it, so he's going to call an icing right there. So you've got Malefus out there with Ruff, and Vartanian makes an appearance so far, his first of the afternoon. So Vartanian with a nice pass up to Malefus. Malefus turns and loses the handle. Ruff gives chase. Malefus forcing the issue, along with Ruff and Vartanian. Oh, Heinrich now with the puck from Mission. Waits for his teammate. Nice play by O'Neill to ride the player out. Dangerous scoring chance for Mission right there. Oh, they've got a player loose out in front of Violante. They are just so dangerous with that puck in open space. Here comes Vartanian, across his own blue line, and chips it in. 4:16 left. Lopiano on the forecheck. And dumped into the mid-Fairfield zone. Boudry gives chase over to Hurl. Back to Boudry. And Mission recovers. It turned right back over to Lopiano. And to Boudry, stolen by Mission in the neutral zone. Jacobs now with the puck on the side of Violante. Nice stick by Joe there. Two guys from Mission always on the puck. They are hustling out there. Henriksen up with it from Mission, passes it to Jacobs. Jacobs dumps in behind Violante. Some tired legs out there. Mid-Fairfield looking for a shift change. LeConte now gets it up to Johnston. Johnston surveys, misfires and puts it on his old goalkeeper. Violante, luckily keeping an eye on things there. The Mid-Fairfield boys were tired. They needed to come off. Fortunately, their goalie's able to bail them out right there. So Scranton again with a face-off win. Ty Scranton with 3 or 4 face-off wins so far today. And the puck goes wildly in the opposite corner. Scranton gives chase. Along with Zoo, Correa picks up the errant pass over to Caccaro. Caccaro immediately harassed by the Mission player. Zoo now behind Violante. Zoo like skating in a phone booth. Just breaks the ankle of the Mission's player. Scranton now chips it up. Fairfield hasn't had a shot on goal in quite a while here. Oh, Caccaro misfires and Lee up with it. A nice save by Violante. Joe comes up big there. Puck gets by Matty Caccaro, and Lee's got great hands from Mission. Doesn't fool Violante there, stays true and is able to stop the puck there. Big moment, 2:21 left in the first period. Puck goes behind Violante. Here comes Figurino now, cross center ice. Gets it over to LeConte. He's got Ware in front of the net, loose out in front. But only Mission players there. So again, that's been the issue with Mid-Fairfield all along, is they get that one shot. They need the players crashing the net for that rebound. It was a nice juicy one right there. So let's see if they can, with 153, if they can strike first. Figurino at the center position. He's got LeConte out there with Ware. And the puck skips out of the zone. Nice skating by Shunk to deny an opportunity for Mission. Over to Ware. Figurino now gets it to the opposite corner. Gets it by the defenseman. Figurino now. Still battling for the puck. Out to Ware. Shunk now able to keep it in the zone. Gets it over to LeConte and dumps it in. And the Mission's able to break the press. Miller now up with it. He's got Rolfe on the other side. Oh, and he just missed, Mission just missed the net. They had open net there, and Drone was unable to tap it in. So Mid-Fairfield playing with fire here. A few times, Mission's had the opportunity to get on the board first. Some outstanding goalie play by Violante, and a little bit of luck has kept Mission off the board. And here we're gonna have, Mid-Fairfield's gonna go on a first power play of the day. So a tripping call against 13 from Mission. So the first power play unit will head out. We've got Beck and Ruff and Scranton along with Picaro and Malefus out there. And just thrown the length of the ice by Mission to Violante. Picaro retreats. Violante, who's playing the puck behind his net. Nice play by Mission to tap the puck back into the mid-Fairfield zone. I don't think I've ever seen a goalie do that on a power play. Looked like Violante wanted to skate the puck out. Scranton loses the zone, and it's dumped back out. Malefus behind Violante. Chang with the forecheck, but Beck now up with the puck. He slashed, gives it up to Scranton. Scranton tries to get it to Ruff. Malefus just trying to chip it back in, and that's the end of the first period. So we'll take a short break here, and I believe the ice cut is halfway through the game. So we'll take a short break and be right back at it with the second period.
What's up, buddy? How's it going? Trying to keep up with time.
Can I tune into that? Cool. Can you tune into that or no? Can you tune into that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's on our YouTube.
After it's over or live?
Live.
Oh, no
Both,
shit.
yeah. All right, and sorry about that, folks. We're gonna have an FCC violation, but that's okay. So we're gonna bring you the second period. So mid-Fairfield still on the power play. You didn't miss too much in the first period. Some good goal play by Joe in net. So Ruff at center, he's got Lukey out there with Scranton, a win by Mission. And Picaro now gives chase. Good forecheck by Mission. It just forced you into a ton of mistakes. Ruff now circles behind Violante. And again, turned over by mid-Fairfield and dumped in. So mid-Fairfield's gonna get one crack here, with about 30 seconds left. Malefus had enough of it, using his speed to gain the zone, hits the brakes. But again, Mission with two guys on the puck. And it's kicked out. Oh, Malefus able to keep it in with his back. And swept out. 10 seconds left. Violante leaves it for Lukey. Back to Picaro, back to Lukey, and the penalty's over. He just turned over at the neutral zone, skips into the Mission zone. Here comes Mission. Jacobs now gains the mid-Fairfield zone, leaves it for Acker. Shot blocked off of Violante, but it goes behind him on the netting. Lukey just trying to skate it out. Mission comes right back and steals the puck. Shunk gives chase. Jacobs up with the puck from Mission, trying to get it out to his defenseman. Kept in by Mission, but then blocked back out. So the puck took a dog leg off the boards right into Violante, who gets there before Mission can. 14:53 left in the second period, and as we mentioned, folks, there's going to be an ice cut. I believe it's halfway through the game, so usually at the 7 or 8 minute period, I thought I saw the other games going. So you've got Johnston at center. It's got Low Piano out there with him, and I believe Ware tied up, but Lee comes in and steals the puck. So sorry, folks, you don't need my face in the picture. Saved by Violante. Maniscalco with a shot off of Joe's glove, I believe. Fairfield struggling to get it out. Mission in control of the puck behind Violante. Mission do a good job now behind Violante. They're cycling the puck around at will. Maniscalco with a shot that's tipped behind Violante. Saved by Violante. Shoveled back. Fairfield just unable to clear the zone. Swatted by Mission. And finally, Low Piano is able to skate it out. Good play by Joe there, keeping the puck out. Johnston over to Low Piano. And again, puck skips out of the zone. So we're going to stop play here at 13:40. The refs are going to call an offside. So you have Figurino out there with LeConte and Ware. Ware slides it over to Zoo. Zoo dumps in the Mission zone. Nice play by Figurino. Gets it over to LeConte. LeConte, though, loses the handle. And here comes O'Gara. Oh, nice play by Vinny Zoo. Gets a stick down to prevent the 2-on-1. Picaro now slides it over to LeConte. A little too much on the pass. Goes into the Mission zone. Sue over to Ware, loses the handle. Figurino is able to dump it in to LeConte into the corner. Ware now up with it. It slides it over to the Mission player. So Mid-Fairfield's going to go off here. Cooney now with a shot out in front of Violante. And the Mission player definitely sold that a little bit. He got hit in the fishbowl by the stick. But unfortunately, you're right in front of the referee, so Mid-Fairfield's going to go on its first penalty kill of the day. So your penalty killers, Kakaro, Ruff, Pearl, and Malefus out there, saved by Joe, stops play there. Ruff with the win, it's able to get it out of the zone. Malefus now goes streaking down the ice, forcing the goalie to play it. Nice play by Ruff, forcing the puck back in the Mission zone. Malefus and Ruff with an active forecheck here. And dumped in behind Violante. Caccaro gives chase. Henriksen able to keep it in. Henriksen now with a shot way wide. Nice play by Hurl, tapping it out of the air. Shot, blocker save by Violante. Drone now up with the puck. You can see Ruff looked like he was going to steal the puck for a second there. Hurl slides it over to Caccaro. Rolling puck and out of the zone. Mission goalkeeper throws it way up to the mid-Fairfield blue line, but Chang was too... That was an absolute blown call by the ref. Chang was about 3 feet over the blue line. No call for an offside, but mid-Fairfield able to avoid the scoring opportunity for Mission. O'Neill gives chase out in front, and Mission's able to cash in. .10:34 left. We have our first goal of the game. Mission cashing in on the power play. Looked like mid-Fairfield was going to kill it off. 10 seconds left. Just a tap in. So Vartanian at center with Beck and Lutke. Puck down to Caccaro. Over to Zoo. Up to Lutke, leaves it for Caccaro. Tries leaving it for Vartanian. Vartanian with a nice play. It's held up. Mission steals the puck. And Scalco back up with it for Mission. Dumps it over to Acker. And here comes Mission. Jacobs now across the mid-Fairfield blue line. He beat Caccaro, but nice, another good save from Violante with the glove there. Well, you can see the speed of the Mission players on display here, getting by some of the mid-Fairfield defensemen. But Violante's standing tall so far. Vartanian at center. Win by Mission. The top of the key is Manis. Mission. See? And the puck skips over the Mission player. Mission, though, back up in control. Lee now up with the puck. Shot. Blocker saved by Violante. Still battling in the corner. Lee now with another shot that's tipped above the net. Mission now just teeing off on mid-Fairfield. Lee now behind Violante. Overskates the puck. Boudry trying to get it to Beck. But Burgess with a nice play keeping it in. Lee out in front. Just unable to handle it cleanly. Burgess now up with it. Shot. It's tipped. Goes way wide of Violante. Lee now chases the puck, but Boudry gets there first. Burgess now up with the puck, but here comes Beck with a tip. Oh, just couldn't get a full handle on the puck, and mid-Fairfield was going to have a chance there. So here comes Mission now. Shot, misses the net. Boudry taps it out. And Beck flies down the ice trying to get there first. Beck still with the puck, tries to get it to Lopiano and does. Pearl keeps it in, but it's stolen by Mission. And that time they got the offside. So 8:23 left in the second period. Mission up by 1, a power play goal. So far, Violante has been tested frequently. And that's going to be it, folks. So we're going to have about a 10-minute break. The rest are going to decide to cut it there. So we'll be back in about 10 minutes with you. Did you cut the sound? All right, and it looks like we're ready to go. So there was a very interesting break. I've never seen a Zamboni driver get stuck twice, and his wheels were spinning and the auger was running and he was just digging himself deeper into the ice. But give credit to the referees. They did some repair work to the ice and the kids are back at it. So hopefully the delay has given Mid-Fairfield its legs back. And we're gonna get started here. 8:23 left in the second period. What you folks couldn't see, the referees were actually pretty good natured and funny about it, and were engaging the parents. It was actually pretty hysterical. So you forget sometimes that this is supposed to be fun. And, so we're going to start the second half here. And we've got Scranton, Correa, and Lukey up front with Zoo and Kikaro on D. And Joe heads back to the net. So Joe Violante, strong first half out of Joe. So Scranton at the center against Cooney. Win by Scranton. Oh, the puck got stuck from the water. Cooney's able to keep it in. And it's like a swamp out there right now. The puck just stops. And that was from the repair of the ice. And Correa fell victim to that too. And it just happened again. The ice is almost unplayable right now. It's so bad. You just can't even, the puck stops. Both teams gonna have to get used to Zoo now with a shot. And here comes Mission. Henrik loses the handle. Back and forth they go. No true bounces here. The players keep overskating the puck because the puck just has a mind of its own right now. And what you can't see in the opposite corner is the Lake Utica over in the corner. Just awful ice conditions right now. And Ruff dumps it off into the corner. Ruff now up with the puck, glove save. And so you can see it, Sawyer O'Neill just fell down on the ice and he came up and he looked like he fell in a pool. Just absolutely drenched. Malefus is standing in about 2 inches of water. Gets the puck out to O'Neill, rolling puck, loose out in front. Beck with a shot, still swinging at it, but Mission comes up with it and lifted up into the Mid-Fairfield bench. That was about the first time all game that Mid-Fairfield's had 2 or 3 swipes at the puck. 6:55 left in the second period. Malefus at center, win by Mission. Throws it over to Maniscalco. Malefus able to keep it back in. Beck gives chase. Pounding Miller. Shunk able to keep the puck in. Oh, it should be a penalty there. Malefus pulled down, and he will. Malefus was spun around by the Mission stick, and they're going to head off here. So a hooking call on Mission. Scranton, Ruff, Correa up front with Picaro and Malefus out there. Picaro up with it, dances along the blue line, pinches in, overskates the puck a little bit. And here comes Ruff up with the errant puck, gets it over to Malefus. Malefus with a shot, a little bit wide. Scranton now working the puck, trying to get it back to his teammate. high up into the air. I saw Kevin Zhu reach for the puck, and Kevin's like about 6'4". Made me a little nervous there, but Fairfield's going to maintain possession in the Mission zone. Scranton up front. It's got Correa and Ruff. Win by Mid-Fairfield, slash. Cuccaro now up with it. Over to Correa. Correa back to Cuccaro. The teams just are unable to get a pass going. Chen slides it, or the active forecheck on Scranton, forcing the turnover. Ice still no good. Cuccaro spins around in his own zone, gets it up to Ruff. Ruff finally gains the zone, but loses the puck. Puck over into the corner, Scranton up with it. Slides it up to Malthus, shot, pad save by the goalkeeper. Correa now, his helmet's loose. And they're gonna stop play here because Cullen Correa's cage has come off as just the buckle came undone from Cullen's mask. So we're going to stop play here. Mission's managed to kill off 120 of the penalty, 40 seconds left. And they're going to take it outside of the Mission zone. 5:14 left in the second period. Mission up 1-0. Johnston at center along with Pan and Ludke. Pearl and Zhu. Zhu, nice play to keep it in. And Johnston goes down. Pan is able to keep the puck in. Ludke now, the top of the face-off circle, over to Hurl, back to Ludke. Shot, it's sticked aside by the Mission goalkeeper. Zhu pinned up along the corner. 8 seconds left. Hurl now up with it, over to Ludke. Ludke back up with it. Gets it over to Johnston. Back to Ludke's shot and tipped off the stick of the Mission player. 4:27 left in the second period. Mid-Fairfield down by a goal. So you could have Figurino out there, LeConte and Ware, Cuccaro and Zhu. Vinny with a long shift here, but played well defensively. Zhu with another keep in, rewarding his coach. Ware able to tap the puck back in. And finally, Mission's able to break it out. Lee now gives chase. But Zhu gets down there first. Violante's missing his stick. And the puck goes high up into the air, up into the netting. So good defensive shift from Vinny Zhu there. And he skates off. 3:48 left in the second period. So you've got Malefus, Ruff, and Beck. Boudry and Hurl out there. Ruff able to corral the puck. Just thrown out into the neutral zone. Cross ice to Lee. Henriksen now gains the mid-Fairfield zone and dumps it in behind Violante. Hurl there, but only Mission players. Quick shot on the Violante that was high, and the puck comes out of the zone. So coach is going to run with the same group here. Got Malefus at center, O'Gara talking to all his teammates from Mission before he comes up. Had a play there. Almost worked. to gain the mid-Fairfield zone. Boudry now able to get it to Malefus. Malefus with a full head of steam, tries to split the defenders. He's got Beck there. Out in front to Malefus! And mid-Fairfield finally able to get on the score sheet here. Beck and Malefus would not be deterred. Passing back and forth in the swamp right in front of the Mission net. The mid-Fairfield's able to draw even here at 3:03 left in the second period. So Shunk and O'Neill will be out on D. You've got Scranton, Correa, and Lukey up front. Lukey now leaves it for Shunk. Slides it over to O'Neill. Good passing by mid-Fairfield. Scranton now gains the zone. Scranton over to Lukey. Lukey hammered into the boards. Correa now tries to get it to Scranton. Backhand loose out in front. Correa unable to get a stick on it. Nice back check by Scranton there. Correa going at it with Cooney. And Maniscalco's up with it. Fires a shot onto Violante. Just drops the puck. Okay, we're going to stop play here at 2:19 left in the second period. Okay, we're going to have an offside call. Sorry, folks, I missed that one. And it must have been an intentional because they're coming out of the opposite end to the Mission end. So Scranton up front with Correa and Lukey, Kakaro and Zoo on D. Lukey up with it behind the Mission net. Lukey leaves it for Kakaro. Kakaro shot but unable to connect with the net. Lukey now. The puck just wildly thrown around by both teams. Good forecheck by Mission, keeping the puck, and Jacobs up with it. Blocker saved by Violante. The puck goes up in the air, and Joe's able to glove it out of the air. So you can see the ice is just starting to get a little better. There's a few wet spots on the ice, but for the most part, a little bit better than it was. Shot, blocker saved by Violante, and it's all the way out. Lopiano chases it. No icing. Lopiano with a very good forecheck here. Able to break it. Lopiano with the steal, but then turns it over at the blue line. Both teams exchanged multiple turnovers in the neutral zone. Jacobs now up with it. Should have been an offside there, but missed call. Puck goes behind the Violante. And the puck, again, wildly thrown out. Mission looks to reload. Drone unable to handle it cleanly. Gives it up to Kakaro. The puck skips by him. Drone now loses the handle again. There's those wet spots behind Violante and makes the puck just stop in its tracks. Mission now still with the puck behind Violante. And Mission goes ahead 2-1. Mid-Fairfield just getting a little careless in its own zone. And Mission able to take advantage. 14 seconds left in the second period. Mission goes up 2-1. So LeConte, Figurino, and Ware up front. Thrown into the Mission zone. Ware able to dump it back in. Figurino gives chase, and that's it. So we'll take a short break and be right back, give you the third period. He'll finish in the top 5 or 10, so I want to see. You didn't shut the sound off, did you? Okay. All right, and we're right back at it. So Malefus, Ruff, and Beck up front. Got Boudry and Hurl back on the blue line. Win by Mission. Good forecheck by mid Fairfield. This is Lucas Ruff's bread and butter is the forecheck. Just really good at it, but Mission good at breaking it. Steal by Boudry. Boudry now with the puck, backhand. Oh, he had Malefus there for the tip. Just couldn't connect. Malefus all over him along with Beck. Finally lifted high up into the air. Boudry slices it over to Beck, throws it out to the neutral zone. Miller collects at center ice along his blue line. Miller now with the puck from Mission, cross center ice into the mid-Fairfield zone. Upended, Malefus gives it up to Lutke. Mid-Fairfield will have a 2-on-1 if they hustle. Over to Beck, shot, misses the net. Shunk unable to maintain the zone, slides it over to O'Neill. Over to Lutke. Miller slides it back in onto Violante. And Joe will stop play here. 15:29 left in the third period. Mid Fairfield trailing by 1. 2-1 lead for Mission. So Heinrich is the center against Scranton. Win by Mission. But Shunk comes up with the errant puck. Gets it to Correa. Over to Scranton. Over to Lutke. Finally able to get the puck out. Scranton now with a full head of steam, trying to get by the defenseman, Scranton. And over into the corner it goes. Loose puck. Shunk comes up with it. Shot, tipped, loose out in front. And O'Gara is up with it for Mission. And Heinrich now loses the handle. Looked like Mission was going to have some numbers there. Violante is able to stop the puck and leave it for Shunk. Scranton now up with the puck. Lukey gives chase, but Miller comes up with it first from Mission. Still battling along the board. Scranton now up with it. Scranton across the blue line. Scranton, he's hooked by Miller, but no call. Puck goes into the corner. Pan now fighting for possession along with Johnston. Oh, Scranton's upended, and Mission's going to go off here. So Mid-Fairfield's going to have a power play. It looked like a roughing call was signaled. I think the young man from Mission is pleading his case, and I think that what the ref is saying to him is if he had made an attempt to play the puck at all, he probably would have been okay, but he just laid out Kai Scranton right there without trying to play the puck at all. So Mid-Fairfield's going to have its power play unit out there with Beck, Ruff, and Ludke, Malefus and Kakaro. Kakaro at the blue line, slides it over to Ludke. Beck behind the net, and stolen by Mission. Thrown out. Violante forced to field the puck. Oh, they're going to call a high stick here. I didn't, I was a little, yeah, no, I saw it. I just didn't think that it was that high, but okay. So Beck at center. Malefus up with it. Gets by one player. Puck goes wildly over to the other side. Lukey up with it. Trouble handling it. Jacobs is all over him. Overskates it. Throws it out to Kakaro. Over to Malefus. Malefus now with a full head of steam. Gains the zone. Malefus by one defenseman, but hits the brakes. Leaves it for Beck. Oh, Beck just overskated it. Looked like he was going to have a good shot there. Jacobs now up with it. He's got Chen on his wing. Saved by Violante. Good shorthanded opportunity for Mission, but a nice save by Violante. And Jacobs is able to kill time for Mission. Beck now throws it back to Ludke. Over to Malefus. But the puck is just not going true on this ice. Players are constantly overskating it. Malefus loses the handle, but Correa is there. Correa up to Kakaro, back to Correa. Shot, and it's pad save up into the netting by the Mission goalkeeper. 12:49 left in the third period. Mission up 2-1 over Mid-Fairfield. 34 seconds left in the penalty to Mission. So Scranton at center, Johnston at center, along with Scranton and Correa. Boudry trying to keep the puck in. The puck goes wildly up over the glass. So Johnston back at center. We've got Hurl back there as well. Win by Mission. They throw it out, but nice play by Hurl to keep it in. Over to Scranton. Big shot, but it's off his teammate, Correa. Hurl trying to keep it in. Gets it over to Boudry, throws it in, padded to the side. And thrown out by Mission. So that's just about going to kill the penalty. Violante forced to field the puck. Boudry over to Hurl. Oh, nice pass over to Correa, and he's got Scranton right in front, unable to gain the handle. The puck skips by. Still battling along, and Mission throws it the length of the ice, and that'll be an icing. Exactly 12 minutes left in the third period. Mission up 2-1 over Mid-Fairfield. This is the first of a 3-game set this weekend. So tomorrow, Mid-Fairfield will face off against Penn's Elite, and then I believe Sunday will face Woodbridge. So Shunk with a shot that's gloved by the Mission goalkeeper. So Figurino out there with Lopiano and Pan. Pan races back to get the puck. This play by Figurino. Long pass to Pan, trying to chip it to Lopiano. Nice play by Mission though. And here comes Lopiano. He can skate with some open room. Lopiano, shot off of the Mission player. And once again, the puck not being true here, going tape to tape, stopping about halfway. But Fairfield goes for a shift change. Miller picks up the rolling puck behind his own net, drops it off for his teammate. Miller back up with the puck for Mission. Surveys up, turns it over, and there's Zoo. Zoo feeds Ruff. Ruff with a shot that looked like it went off of Miller's stick. Beck gets it back to Malefus. Malefus with a rolling puck, trying to get by Maniscalco. And Kikaro and Lee race back. Mission with the puck, wrap around. Shot, it's off of Caro's skate, I believe. Another shot, and it tips in off of Violante. It looks like Joe took that puck. I think it must have hit off his side because he's grabbing the side of his hip. So for the first time all day, Mid-Fairfield's down by 2. Malefus at center. Heinrich now gains the zone, leaves it for Cooney. Cooney up with a puck behind Violante. Over to O'Gara, shot, pad saved by Violante. Mission now hunting another goal here. Burgess now with a shot that tips off of Beck's stick and up into the netting. So Joe's definitely still favoring that side. Joe's a tough kid, but obviously went off his hip. He seems to be all right. O'Gara able to get the puck out to his defenseman. Heinrich with a nice pass, but finally turns it over. The puck out of the Mid-Fairfield zone. Heinrich with the puck for Mission, overskates it. Lukey now for Mid-Fairfield up to Scranton, unable to get it cleanly to Scranton. Scranton up with a bounding puck. Scranton hammered into the boards. Correa trying to help his teammate out, and out it comes. Pearl able to tap it back in. Both teams exchanging turnovers. Nice passing by Ludke to Figurino, sticked aside by the Mission goalkeeper. Ludke back up with it. And stolen by Mission. O'Neill slides it over to Correa after the turnover from Mission. Figurino now still with the puck behind the Mission goalkeeper. O'Neill pinches in. And Shunk unable to keep the puck in the zone. Kant with a nice steal there. Kant slides it over to Ware. And it's dumped behind the Mission goal again. Lopiano forces the issue. The Mission goalkeeper is able to push to the side. Lopiano with a good steal there, but better poke check by Mission. And turned over at the mid-Fairfield blue line. Chang and Shunk going at it. And Henriksen up with the puck. Throws it back to O'Neill, turns it right back over. Both teams exchanging turnovers. Jacobs now gains the zone, shot by Chang, but blocked by Shunk from mid-Fairfield. Back and forth, Mission goes. Jacobs just takes a wild shot on the Violante that's patted aside. Finally, Ware is able to settle things down. It's stolen by Rolfe. Mission will not give up here. Shot, and it's gloved by Violante. 3-1 Mission over mid-Fairfield right now. 6:51 left in the game. So mid-Fairfield's going to have to poke one in soon. They got any chance here. Johnston at center. It's got Pan out there with him and Vartanian. Win by Mission again. Dump to the opposite corner. Vartanian up with the puck, slides it over to Caccaro. Caccaro tries to get it to Johnston. Mission and mid-Fairfield going at it along the boards. Mission up with the puck behind their own goalkeeper. Turned over to Pan. Turned over again by mid-Fairfield. Johnston and Caccaro trade passes over to Zoo, over to Johnston, over to Pan. Pan gains the zone, gets it to Johnston. Johnston's hauled down to the ice, turns over the puck. Mission throws it out. Maniscalco with a backhand, misses the net. Here comes Pan with a rolling puck. Gets it over to Zoo. Over to Vartanian, tries to chip it over to Caccaro, finally does. Caccaro unable to skate by three guys and turns it over in the neutral zone. Lee now up with the puck. Shot, blocked by Ruff. Caccaro now up with it. Over to Vartanian. Boudry unable to handle it cleanly, and it's stolen by Mission once again. Saved by Violante, and here comes Malefus. Malefus now tries to split the defenseman, and unable to do so. Boudry now with a shot, and it's gloved by the Mission goalkeeper. 4:55 left in the third period. Mission up 3-1 over mid-Fairfield. So Malefus, Ruff, and Beck will be up front. Hurl and Boudry back on defense. So Malefus at center, but win by Mission. Boudry over to Hurl. Hurl winds up. Off a couple of players' skates. Malefus unable to get a full shot on. Ruff trying to help his teammate out. Nice pass by Malefus. Beck with a shot. The goalie was down. So mid-Fairfield with a couple of scoring chances there. Turned the puck back over in the neutral zone. The puck winds behind Violante. Leaves it for Hurl. Gets it over to Ruff. Jacobs with the steal on Ruff, but then turns it back over. Here comes Beck now. Beck all by himself. Finally, Boudry comes in there to help him. Cooney up with it at center ice. Cooney into the mid-Fairfield zone. Dances around with the puck. Boudry loses the handle on the side of Violante. Hurl now up with it, but fielded by Mission. out in front, saved by Violante. The players had stopped playing because of the whistle next door, but luckily Joe didn't stop playing. Correa slides it over to Ludke, and he's going to be about a step too slow. 3:24 left in the third period. We're going to have an offside at the Mission blue line. So Scranton up front with Ludke and Correa. With Fairfield controls, but unable to hit tape to tape. They're going to cause an icing. So Mid-Fairfield with some work to do here. 3:15 left, down by a couple of goals. Win by Mission again. Blocked by Ludke up into the above the glass. Scranton at the face-off, but again O'Gara from Mission is able to keep the puck in. Zoo battles O'Gara from Mission. O'Gara, a feisty player going at it with Vinny Zoo. Zoo able to get the better of him there, but Acker able to steal it. And I think we're going to have a penalty. So O'Gara pleading his case as he heads off, but Vinny Zoo's had a good defensive game so far for Mid-Fairfield, drawing the penalty from Mission. So this will definitely help out Mid-Fairfield with 2:54 left. We're going to go on the power play here. So you've got Scranton and Ruff with Ludke, Malefus, and Picaro. Players are tied up. Scranton comes out with the puck. Scranton leaves it for Malefus. Rolling puck, gets it over to Picaro. Ruff over to Malefus. Credit Mission, did a good job killing that penalty so far and forcing the puck out. Play an aggressive penalty kill here. And Mission up with it is Acker. Leaves it for Chang's shot. I believe it deflected off of Violante into the netting. So Mid-Fairfield running into himself, causing the turnover, giving Mission a short-handed opportunity, but Violante again stands tall. So Scranton with the win, gets it over to Zoo. Zoo forced to retreat. Leaves it for Malefus. Malefus gets by a couple of players, gains the zone, tries to get by everybody, and then turns it over. Maniscalco able to throw it out. Credit Mission, they are flying around the ice still. Scranton now up with it. Leaves it for Zoo. Mid-Fairfield dumps it in, 40 seconds left. Correa now out there with a rolling puck. And it's out of the zone. Rolf now out in front of Violante, and he's hammered by Correa. Dump back in, but Mission out skating Mid-Fairfield on the power play. Ludke now up with it, under a minute left to play. Mid-Fairfield down by 2, and Ludke upended. And so I believe McMahon's going to go off there for the trip, but it may be too little too late for Mid-Fairfield. Down by a couple. with 47 seconds left. So we're gonna have a timeout here when Grags talks it over. All right, so the interesting last 47 seconds. So when Fairfield gains possession of the puck, you'll see Joe probably run right for the bench. So you've got Scranton, Malefus, Zoo, and Hurl, and Ruff and Correa out there. Okay, Joe, okay, they did, I was wondering, they had 6 players out there. So win by Mission, thrown right out. There's no icing, so Mid-Fairfield's got to hustle its way down there. Zoo unable to handle it cleanly, now he's forced behind the net. Finally gets it to Malefus. Malefus again forced behind the net by Mission. Over to Zoo. Over to Scranton. They gain the zone. Scranton behind the net. Scranton cross ice to Hurl. 10 seconds left. Over to Ruff. Over to Malefus. Back to Hurl. And that's it, folks. So unfortunately, Mid-Fairfield goes down to defeat 3-1 to Mission. And I will not be there tomorrow. My son has, even though it's Chris's game, my son has a cross-country race, so I will be back with you on Sunday. And I think you'll have somebody here tomorrow calling the game. So have a good evening.